Kamen Rider is definitely known for its character drama, or at least was, and Geats has amplified that to the last 10 years of American TV by making it real.
Mad real.
It's The Real Geats World. I guess episode 1, but it's technically 18. It's 18. Darkroom Confessionals, that's totally a trope I did not see or expect to see in Kamen Rider. See, what people don't understand is that a lot of times, when it comes to these bits, I think of them kind of on the spot. Even when I'm like watching the episode, or maybe later on while I'm having shower thoughts, or sometimes, it's while I'm driving, there's a red light, I don't happen to notice it, so I slam on the brakes, spilling barbecue McRib sauce all over me. And look, before you ask, I know what you're thinking. And that is, how do you get McRib sauce all over him when the McRib is no longer in season? And to that I say, you don't know my life. Ace is playing up the camera bits well, playing to his initial suspicions about the audience, but then seeing if they too are playing the game. Alright, so there's obvious flags being pointed to both Keiwa and Daichi this week, with everyone growing suspicious when Keiwa makes them breakfast. And Daichi brings up the analytics on why that's hella sus, making himself sus in the process. Keiwa's reasonings is that he's just practicing for when he's feeding them kids later on. That's an odd throw-in segment, but let's see if it takes us anywhere. Alert! The Game Master has arrived to reveal that the players must vote on who they think the Deza Star is, and if they get everyone else voting for them, they are instantly out. But the answers aren't locked in until the end of the game. But of course, with the most suspicions on his end, Kay was not about this, but turns out that if you don't vote, then you also get booted. It's here that we get the revelation of the purse. Sin? Frog? It's a frog in a suit. It's a goddamn frog in a suit. What is... So there's a frogman in a suit that seems to be the audience member that is rooting for Keiwa. I swear, I am completely reviewing this sober, right? There's only a handful of drinks in there. Oh, y'all got these now and later gators on the shot? Can y'all zoom in? Great, because this is John Toei. And, look, what Zeo doesn't realize is that he's cost me a lot of investors by trapping Dan Bandai inside that box. I had to cut costs and fire those Toei form guys that make the names in the process. But what he doesn't seem to realize is that Dan has the ability to free Galaxy Blade from that card. His probation technically ended weeks ago, but we're still playing this bit. So I've been sneaking in some herbs into his daily protein shakes. Let's see how those pay off. Archimetal, on the other hand, seems to be the architect. Wait, did I just figure out the name pun? Alright, setting up our new Rook Takeshi Jamato with a ball and some new digs, but also revealing that the other Jamatos have human attachments as well. As the game is about to pop off, Kay was busy about to feed them kids, but because of the game, has to reveal that ninjas prefer to be seen. It's normally around this time that I would interfere, but I can't because I'm currently trapped inside a card. Can I grab my shitty headset? Ooh, this feels right. Slamming the balls the way I did your sister, the Rook Jamato's penetration game just came without warning to Keiwa. The game is Jammer Ball, and like the name implies, you gotta jam them balls in deep. 5v5, but it don't matter what you do as long as you get it in. First up is number 01, Ace the Builder. Can he beat it? Yes, we can! Loco Lopo is up next, hitting that Shipu dash and pass to Tactical Sparrow, but Jamato's got that deep jungle ready for his ass. passing it off like it's Plasma Ball, making its way back to Lopo, and boom, shakalaka! It's 3 points? As it turns out, you need to be further away to get in some more points. So, let's see how the Jamato change this one out. It's foul on foul between them and Tycoon, but Rook got some recycled lines that only make sense to Keiwa, since he's one of the few to hear them. Taking advantage of this, Rook goes in for the deep penetration, all to the onlooking Sparrow. It's back and forth that just continues making Tycoon look a little bit more sus. See, I would have done something like that, but I'm not around to commentate. No one will ever know. So, can someone just hit up Zio and let him know to buy that blade buckle off of eBay? Like, please. Please. Bam, that was some good-ass commentary on my end. Got the sparkly suit and the pyrotechnics for that one. Who even needs Galaxy Blade anymore? Alright, back to things. In the jammer area, kids are trapped, but screw that because we got some new info. Gene makes his appearance, clearly not interfering with the game, and hits up Ace for some research notes. He points out that Ace's mother is actually a woman named Ukiyo Mika, which Ace doesn't deny, confronting Gene on who he even is. Just a passing through dimensional traveler. See, so Ace finds him weird, but it's Ace that's also weird. We get some training with Saya and Neon, but this is just to throw us off the scent that Neon is the real Dessa Star. While the rest of you continue to argue between Daichi and Keiwa, they give us more food for those theories, with Daichi asking Keiwa what the deal is with him hesitating on those Jamatos. He explains that the Jamatos might actually be the previously defeated players, but when the others gather, he claims ignorance, citing Keiwa as holding back to sabotage the game. Forced to spill the beans, the others still feel that he's holding out on them, so Daichi does what so many have done before him. Rob Keiwa of his buckles. What the hell am I being interviewed for? I don't do Geats videos, I'm strictly thirsty. Jamato juice. Okay. Meanwhile, Jamatos are continuing to plan their success, with Azuma snatching back up his ID core, seen here along with some new P Bandai merch we'll see appear within the coming weeks. Getting caught by a Jamato rider, Azuma hits that remix with the driver, forcing a transformation and painfully taking out them weeds, only to run into more and decide that if he can't beat them, join them, and uses the Jamato buckle to take out the trash. Afterwards noticing that the world he's in lays in the ruins of a former civilization. But Archimetal doesn't like what Azuma is becoming. Back with the game, Keiwa's Toad friend is not about him losing his gear and slips in a secret mission. But Gene spectates along, pointing out that right now, he's the lead sus when it comes to disastering. But with the next mission comes more ball fondling, and Keiwa does exactly what the secret mission planted intended. Be the first to help civilians just to give him that command buckle, which he quickly uses, juices up, and transforms into Twin Command form. Getting the upper hand on that Rook, he's quickly baited into holding back. With Sparrow getting in the way, Keiwa further falls for the bait, pushing Daichi out of the fight and defending the Jamato in front of everyone else and giving the Jamato a clear lead. Rating time. This episode changed up the formula dramatically for Geats, going from the very action-oriented scenes that we had before, now going into full drama, with a lot of you pointing the fingers at either Keiwa or Daichi. But I refuse to believe such an obvious setup. Not only that, but we also get some ace deets, so color me intrigued. It's for that reason that I end up giving this episode the Boost B. I'm really hoping that they stick the landing with this plot because there's a lot of things now being established that do play into my previous theory, but it's venturing a little too out there, and there's the possibility that this could get either really bad, really good, or convoluted as much as a Kingdom Hearts backstory. First things first, let's talk the disaster. Or disaster. I keep saying disaster, but I guess you can say disaster. There's the obvious picks. You have Keiwa and you have Daichi. And the narrative is definitely spinning it to be either of these two. But I feel that it's a real possibility that this is indeed a fake out. I feel it kind of cheapens these new characters if they're instantly one of the disasters or if it's both of them. And Keiwa is just purposely being done so dirty that I just feel it's too on the nose. Usually when it comes to these things, it's who you least suspect that would normally be the guilty party. And my vote still goes to Neon. She's oddly very background-ish this episode, and even when Keiwa drops the bomb on those Jamatos being people, she had the most non-look ever. Alright, let's get to dimensional hopping and Geats' backstory because, yeah. It appears that Ace might have been lying about his parents and even possibly his age, since Jean reveals that Ace's mom doesn't appear to be Mitsume and his childhood photo looks awfully recent. However, we are now in a universe that we know has various dimensions at play, and in last week's review I mentioned that it's possible that Ace comes from the same dimension that the Jamato Garden exists in. With this episode, we do get the confirmation that the Jamato do exist in a reality that appears to have had a civilization wiped out, so it's completely possible that Ace originated from there. It's just possible that he doesn't remember it. See, previously we speculated that it's possible that every time either a game is lost or a new desire god is crowned, it creates a new universe. But previously we've seen that combatants that participated in the game still live after getting retired, but something changes in their mindset and demeanor in some way, shape, or form. It's completely possible that in Ace coming to the current dimension, he assumed the identity of the original Ace of this world. Either they were doppelgangers of each other or something tragic happened to the original, or it's even possible that both actions played out. Then we run into the whole ageism of it all. Since this episode affirms that Ace is 21 years old, but he continuously claims to be much older, he contradicts himself on multiple fronts. I mentioned things like time dilation before, and one thing I was hoping for, which could still happen, is that they get engrossed in a game in what appears to be literal hours, only for them to return to their world and find out that they've actually been missing for years. It would be an interesting twist and dynamic to show that time travels differently between these dimensions. Now we get to Jean and the other audience members. Though currently it appears that all the sponsors exist within the main reality, the audience is not, and they aren't from the main reality. We do get introduced to Keiwa supporter Kikera, who appears to be a frog statue. And Naruto references aside, does anyone feel that this is their actual form or just a disguise for themselves? Because if it is their actual form, Geats just got crazy wacky. With the knowledge and technology used by the DGP, it's completely possible that this is a more advanced race just using the contestants as entertainment. It's like that one South Park episode where they realize that the entirety of Earth is just a giant reality show for aliens. I swear, if this show goes up its own ass and discards or rewrites a lot of this because they don't know how to stick this landing, we might end up in another Revice situation. But still, this is starting to feel too much like that one South Park episode. Man, we really are discussing a lot this episode, but there's more. Because with Azuma, I knew during the first watch that he was likely going to end up having to use that Jamato buckle, which means y'all Azuma stands out there gotta now double dip just so you could get that zombie Jamato combo going. With him being possibly undead, forcing the driver to be responsive and having compatibility with that Jamato buckle in ways not seen before, Azuma is indeed becoming a threat on both the Jamato and the writers. and might form his own muddy middle in between of everything. I'm honestly more looking forward to Ozma's storyline now than the potential convolutedness we got going on in the main plot. So, yeah. What did you think about this week's Geats? Ace actually having a mom, Kawa clearly not being the disaster, and frogs. It's what's for dinner. One more time, self-plugging my Toku Awards. I know you've got your choices in Toku Awards, but when you're pretty much stranded alone on this medium, or I guess my invitation got lost in the mail, sometimes you just gotta do it yourself, with yourself, by yourself, and find a way to actually be fun entertainment to watch. Also, I hit 2K subs this past week. And look, I've been a busy guy in my regular day job, or else I would have had something ready for when the moment happened. But that's not to say I don't have things in the planning phase to come out, hopefully within the next few weeks. It might even be a live stream, or 5. So anyway, yep, now, that is it for me. Go balls deep for the next Geats, and I will catch you all next time. Bye.